Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the 212A, it's the Tier 9 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the west spawn of Berlin, and it's under the command of Angelina75, and it's her first submission for this week's competition to win the weekend's lie-in. Yes, Angelina won last weekend, and she enjoyed her lie-in on her first day of her vacation. Well, game started. Angelina's armed with a 203mm howitzer. She's capable of doing 900 alpha, penetrating 52mm of armor, and it's got a burst radius of 10.4 meters. Now, standard reload is 37.39 seconds. Angelina's managed to get it down to 30.11. And she's picking a firing position a little further down because she wants to get into cover, but she also wants to be able to shoot at the enemy tanks that are actually coming towards the confrontation point in the heavy area. Now, the 212A, designed to be built on the hull of a KV-220, so it's basically a KV tank but with an Arty configuration, but it never got built because they actually spent too much time making heavy tanks instead of actually making SPGs. Okay, she's ready to go. And in fact, instead of aiming for the heavy confrontation area, she's aiming for a Leopard prototype who's actually made his way down towards the bunker in the center of the map. Can't get a shot on him. Sturmill, a little further over. Very difficult shot. She can possibly stun him if she fires the round in. It did hit the wall. We don't know if it did any damage at all on the other side. There's Czech hedgehogs or Czech crosses. Still effective today, actually, and still being used in current conflicts. KV-5. Very tough nut to crack, those things. Aim for the Dalek if you can. The machine gunner. She's loaded, rounds out. No, it went long. Okay, so changing position. Angelina does have very good discipline when it comes to changing position after each shot to avoid counter battery, and it does work. Really does work, because if you do fire a round in and you've changed position, if they do, then more than likely they're going to miss you. Okay, Eunice 16. Now, if she lands the round there, I think she will get some damage. Rounds out. Yes, she does. 281 from Splash, and she's given him some stun, so she might pick up some stun assist here. Well, this time round, she's aiming towards the north. There's an SMV-CC67. He's north of the bridge, north of the river. If she can get the shell onto him, landed on top, she might be able to do some severe damage because they don't have much armor on the way on the top of them. Oh, she did! Perfect shot, 431, almost at the back of the vehicle, which is the weakest spot. Managed to do a nice bit of damage. Reloading for her next shot. Well, now there's a Shrek from the enemy team down there. And it'd be perfect if she could land a round directly on him. He probably thinks he's safe there right now. He's not. And Angelina's about to prove it. Wrong. Rounds out. Oh, perfect again. She got the rear of him. 375, and she's changing position again. So, good game for Angelina so far. She's been ignoring the heavies and focusing on the other tanks. And now that Udes is a prime target. Now, he's just sitting there at this moment waiting for a clean shot. Angelina's about to fire a round in. Rounds out. Oh! Cruelly denied. It hit the wall instead. RNG said no. Shell went to the right. Udes is still there. She could still get a direct hit on him. Keeps moving about like that, she might get him. Okay, she's waiting for the moment. She fires it in. Oh! Well, it went long, but it still gave him 16 hit points of damage. Now, we seem to be doing rather well on the south part of the map. Angelina's now looking to get a shot on that Wizzy. She could hit the Samur, but she goes back to the SMV, and he is very low on hit points. She could wipe him out with the next shot. Lines it up, rounds out, and... Oh! The shell went long, but she still got him. The shell went right into the target, and he's out the game. Beautifully done. Okay, right now we've got that Sturmill. Looks like somebody else managed to stun him, and he's gone down. In fact, the enemy are now falling apart. There's only 4 of them left. Just loaded as the Samur went by. We've got a T25AT, and he just got hit by our fellow Arty in the game, which of course in this game is an M12. Oh, and she gets another kill. This time the T25 took a direct hit to the casement, and he's out. Very good moving discipline. Angelina keeps changing positions to get the better angle, to get a better attack on the enemy. But there's not many enemy left, it's just the Arty. And she's having a look in the most likely area they're going to be, which is over in this area. In fact, we just saw the Tracer coming out from that spot. And the other one, well, he's been detected. That's the Lorraine 15550. He's just gone. So it's the M53, M55 who's standing in this corner. It's a long shot for the shell to fly. Once she's seen him, she's only going to have a second or so to realign and then shoot. And then 4 seconds for the shell to get there. He's on the move, rounds out. Oh, and he gets ram killed before the shell arrives, but it is a victory. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the 3rd class tanker for Angelina75 in the 212A. She managed to get a bruiser for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, she got 5 exactly. And her win rate from the game was 1,743, which is very good indeed. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, she didn't get the highest damage in this game. That went to the AE phase 1 with 3,115 hit points. He got a Pascucci's medal, but he didn't get the high caliber. Wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. Second highest damage in the game went to the Object 430, 2,574. And the third highest damage to Wizzy 11114, 2,529 to him. Angelina only 1,690. When it came to kills, though, it was the Object 430 who did the best with 5 kills. 3 kills went to the AE phase 1, and then 2 kills went to the Char Future 4 and Angelina. Both got 2 each. And when it came to base XP, she's a little further down the table with only 632. The high scorers being the Object 430, the AE phase 1, and the Char Future 4. She fired only 10 rounds, so not the normal amount that she would normally expect to do, but she got 4 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetration and 6 splash. Damage of 1,690 hit points. I guess that's why it's only a 3rd class. If she'd actually had the time to fire a few more rounds, she probably would have picked up a 2nd class or even maybe a 1st class. On a free-to-play account, she earned 979 credits. Yes, that's after the shell cost. Took away most of the credits she earned during the battle, and of course you don't earn that much in the way of credits on a free-to-play account than you do on a premium account. She would have ended up with a profit of 11,000, you see, on a premium account, but only 979 from a free-to-play. And on the base XP, she earned 632, so she actually came away with 3,160 experience points. Not a bad start, she said. Yes, it starts the ball rolling. She's set the limit of a 3rd class and a bruiser for Talon to match. Now, Talon has already sent in his first replay, so let's have a look at that one. The second replay is on the cliff map, and we're on the south spawn with Talon in the S-51, the Tier 7 Soviet. Game on. Well, this is the Arty that was made from the KV-1S. Yes, they tried very hard to make this Arty work, but unfortunately the KV-1S hull wasn't strong enough to actually take the recoil of that big howitzer. In fact, it's the BR2 howitzer we're looking at there, not the B4 howitzer. That's the stock gun, which is actually, well, it's well capable of doing 600 alpha and penetrating 38mm of armor. You can hear somebody screeching as they go up the hill. But we're looking now at an EBR. Rounds out. Yeah, you should have moved. 269 hit points. Looks like our EBR also got hit by the enemy Arty. And oh my god, the enemy, or the EBR on our team turns to be I am. Yes, I am Abram. And he's actually a streamer on the NA server. In fact, actually, he's friends with Walst. I'm just checking now to see. Yes, I am Abram. There he is. So, yes, let's hope he survives this game. And, well, he gets a good score, because he's actually a very good player. Okay. We're looking at a Tiger 1 backing up there near the confrontation point. Just took a round. I think that possibly came from the Borsig on our team over in the sniper spot. Rounds out. 28 hit points to splash. Standard reload for this Arty is 23.97 seconds. And we can see Talon's got it down to 19.64. Now, again, this is part of the competition to win the weekend lion between talon1958 and angelina75. They both live in the same house. They're partners. And they've got this little competition going, which has been going for some time, just in case you don't know about it. And it's actually to get the best score for the week. So basically, they're trying to get the highest class of mastery. And if they can't get the highest class of mastery... Oh! Unfortunately, that landed in front of our Panther, but it did stun the M2Y as well. Yes, they've got to go out, try and get the highest mastery and or get the highest number of medals as well. And if it's not the highest mastery, then they'll take it down to the win 8. Okay, direct hit on a Renegade for 281, and he's got stun assist off that. Yes, last week's contest was actually won by Angelina. I seem to recall she got a second class in the end, and I'm afraid Talon could only get a third class tanker, and that's why Angelina won the weekend line. Another shot out, and this time hits the Renegade again, but only for 101 this time. Okay, you notice he's sticking to this corner at the moment. It does give him good angles on the enemy, and it's very difficult for the enemy to actually land a shell on top of him. The enemy Arty in this game is a GW Panther. That one went slightly to the left, and so RNG was unkind, but he did get some stun off that as well. Yes, the rules of the contest are that if they've both got, say, a second class tanker, then it goes down to medals. Another direct hit, this time on the Eagle 7. That's a T-26E3, or a Pershing tank. The particular one that actually took part in the Battle of Cologne to kill the Panther tank that was defending the cathedral. Rounds out again. Went long and to the left this time. Yes, that tank managed to get a number of 90mm rounds into the Panther tank that was defending Cologne Cathedral, but it also, that tank had already destroyed 2 M4s and killed a number of American personnel. And in fact, actually, it's one of the only battles during the Second World War, tank battles, that was actually filmed. They had 2 cameras from the film crews accompanying the tanks as they went in to try and seize Cologne. Rounds out. Oh! Well, it would have been a kill, for sure, because he would have got that one. But for the fact that the IS-2 shielded managed to get the kill shot on the Renegade first. Yes, if you ever get a chance, look it up on YouTube. There is a video documentary showing how it actually happened, and the encounter between the Eagle 7 and, of course, the enemy. Oh, he got a kill there! 155. The encounter between the T-26E3 and, of course, that Panther was recorded and is visible. You can see exactly what happened. The Eagle 7 fired the 90mm round into the side of the Panther. It then caught fire, and the crew abandoned it. Not all the crew managed to get out. Some of the crew didn't survive. In fact, it's said that some of the crew members of the various tanks that were actually involved in that particular conflict, and there's the GW, met later in the much later on, and they greeted each other. Oh, 98 hit points, and they greeted each other as friends, even though years ago they've been trying to kill each other. I think the German person was actually the commander or the gunner of one of the enemy tanks, which was a Panzer Mark IV, Panzer IV Ausführung H, which was actually also with the Panther, but he was destroyed, or his tank was destroyed. And the last enemy tank, the GW Panther, goes down, and that's game over. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the second-class tanker for talon1958 in the S-51. He got a bruise to medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6 in this one. And his win rate from the game was 1,618, which is Super Unicum. Well, it's Super Unicum. No, it's actually very good. Sorry, not Super Unicum. Yes, it's very good. Not quite as much as Angelina, but the second class is better than Angelina, which means that, yes, Talon has taken the lead away from her. She's going to have to produce something like a second-class bruiser and possibly a medal, or alternatively, she's going to have to find and get a first class. But if she can get an ace tanker, she wins outright straight away and gets the sleep in at the weekend, instead of having to get up and chase after Remy, their little boy, who likes to get up early and play with his toys and switch all the lights on. So there has to be an adult, a responsible adult, looking after the Remy whilst he's playing. Anyway, so second-class tanker. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the IS-2 Shielded, who managed to get 4,536. Second highest damage went to a Canonian Jagdpanzer 105 with 2,445. And third highest damage in that game went to the Scorpion G on the enemy team, who managed 2,413. When it came to kills, I should say, Talon managed 1,240 hit points. When it came to kills, we can see that the IS-2 Shielded and the Canonian Jagdpanzer and the Borsig all managed 3 kills apiece. Talon only got 1 kill out of that game, so he was actually joint third. But when it came to base XP, he's a little higher up the table. He's actually in 4th place, because the IS-2 Shielded got the high spot, T-71 came second, and they were the only two managed to get over 1,000, with the Canonian Jagdpanzer getting 3rd place and Talon getting 4th with 857. He fired 14 rounds. He started with 30, so he still had 16 rounds left. He hadn't used up half his ammo. 5 direct hits on the enemy, but none of them penetrated. 12 splash damage of 1,240 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He hit 6 of the enemy, got 1 kill. So unfortunately, he didn't get enough to get a Confederate. He was very close to getting one there. On a premium count, he earned 144,288 credits from the game, and he got 25 bonds for a mission achievement and took away 2,571 experience points altogether. He says, I'm really liking this piece. Yes, the S-51 actually can be very, very effective. With the big gun, the B4 howitzer, the 203mm one, you can actually get bombardiers, because it does have a very, very big footprint when it comes to the explosion radius. It's 10.4 meters, you see. So, yes, it's very effective at getting bombardiers. And they used to say that if you wanted a bombardier, you'd use the S-51 with the big gun. What I like about the S-51 with the small stock gun is you get lots of shots because it reloads very, very quickly, about 19 seconds or thereabouts, which is comparable to some of the Tier 6 Artys, but this is Tier 7, remember? And of course, the fact is that it also has more ammunition. If you take out the M12, you only have 18, I think it's 18 rounds or 20 rounds. Trying to remember how many rounds the M12 has. I know that the GW Panther has something like 30 as well. And with the, if I'm looking through my stats right now, it's 20 rounds in the M12. So you've got 50% more shells in an S-51 than you do in an M12. About the same amount of movement in terms of trying to get about the battlefield. But it does have 152 instead of 155 millimeter. So you are getting, it's the same damage on both tanks, on both parties, but it's actually more effective with the S-51 because you can get more damage on the enemy overall. You don't have to worry about shells running out. With the M12, there's a very real chance that you will run out of ammunition during the battle. I've had that happen to me more than once, where I've run out of shells and then had to consider, what do I do next? Do I scout? Do I try to run for the enemy cap? Or what do I do next? But I can't fight because I've got no ammunition left. But with the S-51, you'll never run out of shells because you'll constantly be able to load another one before the end of the game. So that means that Talon's in the lead. Angelina's in second place. Did Abraham survive the battle? Let's have a quick look. Oh dear, he didn't actually. In fact, he didn't get any hit points at all during the game or any kills. But at least I can actually let him know that he did appear in one of our videos. So I'm sure he'd be happy about that. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.